Welcome to yet another edition of Mediahood. And Mediahood is where we teach people how to understand the basics of communication and media. Today I have a phone with me, and this particular phone will help us to understand how Shannon and Weaver model of communication actually work. So you're welcome to this video. You get to understand how the Shannon and Weaver model of communication works. Join me and let's go on. The Shannon and Weaver model of communication was actually developed by Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver in 1948. Both were mathematicians. That is to tell you that whatever you're doing, if you're building a theory or you're trying to create a model like this, your standpoint in life would actually influence what you build. And Shannon and Weaver alike have been influenced by the fact that they are actually mathematicians. They built a model that reflected the electronic way communication travels from one person to the other. That is why in some sector, this model is referred to as the electronic model of communication. Now let's get to understand how it works. If you look at this device that I have here, it is a phone, clearly. But if you need to use this telephone to communicate to someone, then you've initiated the process of talking about the Shannon Weaver model. Let's get to understand what it talks about. The first thing you will notice about the Shannon Weaver model of communication is actually the fact that there is a source. The source is the person who decides that they want to create a particular communication. They want to talk. They want to send a message. Now, according to Shannon Weaver model, the source actually chooses the medium, and it's that simple. If I am to use this phone again to make a call, I'm the one that wants to initiate the process. And because I am the one that wants to initiate the process, I choose the device. I might choose a landline, I might still go with this one preferably. Now let's leave this aside. According to this particular model, when the information is ready and the source wants to send that particular information, Shannon Weaver, the model believes that information has to be fed to the transmitter. The transmitter in this case would now serve as capturing what the person needs to send into an electronic signal here. And when that electronic signal is finally converted into the form that it needs, it has to be sent to the intended receiver. But there is something beautiful about this model. When that information travels, it means at the other end, there needs to be something to decode that message, something of equal weight as the transmitter that can capture the same electronic signal and convert it into message that the receiver would understand. So just like the telephone, when you send a message or when you make a call using your telephone devices, the telephone captures the voice and converts it into an electronic signal. And by the time it travels through space and moves to the other end, the other telephone serves as a decoder and changes the message into understandable format. At that point it becomes a received signal. At this point it was purely a signal, but at this point it becomes a received signal. And when it becomes a received signal, it gets to the receiver. The receiver then understands, and that is the destination that the message is intended to go on. Now, you can see the message has been established. There's also a message here. But prior Weaver had actually failed to include the fact that there has to be feedback. Before we get to the feedback, there is something important about this model. Some persons have called it a linear model and it has been criticized for that. But Shannon Weaver also considered the importance of noise in the communication gap. When you're about establishing any communication, there has to be that noise that would likely occur. If you take your phone and you place a call today, probably midway you started talking to the receiver, you might be getting some buzzing and some sounds. That is the noise. So Shannon Weaver model actually captured that as an essential part of it. But they failed to provide feedback mechanism. And that is where Norbert Wiener came into play. He actually supplied the fact that there has to be feedback so that it doesn't become a one-way street. Remember, communication is a two-way street. The sender will send the message and it travels through the different places and gets to the receiver. But what if the receiver has something to say? If you follow the linear measure of the Shannon and Weaver communication earlier, it means that the receiver has no likelihood of sending back the message. And that is the importance of what Norbert Wiener brought to play when he established the feedback mechanism in the model. And that makes room for two-way communication to happen. So understand that the Shannon and Weaver model of communication talks about the information which has to come from the source. And when the information is coming from the source, it moves into being transmitted to an electronic signal. According to them, remember, these are mathematicians, so they explain it according to what suits their profession. When it's moved into an electronic signal, which is here, it travels and gets to another equipment that has the capacity to decode that signal, and then it becomes a received signal, getting to the receiver, which is of course the destination. Remember, we did talk about the man, Norbert Wiener, that brought in the feedback mechanism into the model. Not forgetting the fact that noise is actually important in all of this, because noise can tend to mar the conversation, and sometimes it destroys everything. But that is what Shannon and Weaver model of communication talks about. And that this explanation has been able to help you get a good glimpse of what this model talks about. I believe this video had actually helped you a great deal to understand what the Shannon and Weaver model of communication is about. Let us know in the comment section what you think about this video and how you've been able to understand it. And do make sure to subscribe to this channel, like, and turn on the notification button. My name is Adekunle Adejimo, and I come your way again